Oh, our good old buddy Puck's calling. He wants to talk about Ashton Forbes and other high-tech grifters. Hi, Puck. How are you?
Hello. It's good to be talking to you again, Kelley.
Yeah, it's always Puck. It's always a pleasure talking to you. You've always been one of my favorite people. So.
And actually, I've been following your work for a while. I loved your interviews with the Clergy Project. I really appreciate the work you're doing out there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I remember talking to you before.
Oh, yeah. We've crossed some paths before, but all of us have. That's kind of awesome that I actually get to talk to you now.
Yeah.
So what do you got for us, Puck?
Okay, so it's come to my attention in the past couple of weeks that there's a grifter out there by the name of Ashton Forbes, who I don't want to like give links or anything, but he's out there if you want to see his stuff. And he's been pitching some really weird quantum stuff. And I think it's fine to like go out and debunk the specific science itself, but really more to my interest is what makes gurus like this appealing in the first place? Like, what's the draw? Right? Like, you know, when you have people like this who say, well, we're only like a little bit of tech away from having free unlimited energy for everybody, but big oil is getting in the way of studies and whatnot. It's obviously a grift. They're obviously asking for money. They're not shy that they're asking for money. But why? What is it about them that comes across as believable and not just followable, but supportable in a financial sense?
Are you asking for my opinion?
Yeah, and the reason I want to think in that way is if we can figure out what makes them so appealing, maybe we can figure out some way to take the people who are so enraptured by them and more easily turn around, because they're not going to get turned around by the facts. You're not going to turn around by saying, well, here, the science doesn't support what this guy is saying, right? Because they're caught by something else, and I can't figure out what.
Yeah, I think now I don't know. I can't say it. I'm not a sociologist. It's not something I've studied. It's something that intrigues me. It's something that I have looked up and read about a little bit. Like I said, I haven't really delved into it. Like I said, I'm not a sociologist or anything, but it seems to me that there's several factors that drive the popularity of people like this. And one of them seems to be that if I listen to this person who's bucking the system, who doesn't think that mainstream science is valid, you know, oh, look at this thing over here. If I believe in this and he can show me, and I'm making air quotes when I say show me, if he can show me how this is working, I can have this special knowledge that nobody else has. I can be smarter than a college professor because I know this. And I think a lot of people who are low information might fall for this quite easily and think that they become special people when they get this special knowledge. Does that make any sense?
It does, but it's weird because they're not actually gaining the special knowledge for themselves. They're just like special knowledge adjacent. They're like knowledgeable by association, but it falls apart the second you actually ask them anything specific about what it is that they're talking about. And we saw this happen a few years ago too with NFTs and cryptocurrency and all the numerous scams that happened from there. And I guess I wonder, like, how do people not look at stuff like 0-point energy and not say this is literally the same thing?
P.T. Barnum, you know, P.T. Barnum said there's a sucker born every minute. There was a reason he said it, and I don't know what else to say on that one, right?
I wish I had something to offer, but I don't know enough information about this, and
I don't know any specific information about this guy, but I'm just going off of, you know, the grifter thing, the grifter topic, and that's what I'm just playing off of here. So I did pull him up real quick, but then we started talking and I didn't get to see exactly what it was that.
No, he's just the latest. Like I said, like, you know, not long ago, the big thing was what is it? I just said the word, cryptocurrencies, right? And all the scams that came out of there, and Sam Bankman-Fried, and all that stuff where people are charming and people say, this is the future and we're all going to go to the moon. And anybody who doubts us are just losers who can't see the thing. But the slightest scrutiny, it all falls apart. And I'm wondering, like, why don't people just do the, is it the hope? Is it the sense that there's so many people around them are showing the belief and they don't want to be the one that says, I don't think I quite buy what you're selling. Like, I don't know, like we just talked about, or you guys just talked about the importance of community. So maybe that sense of belonging, even if it means you have to go along with something you don't fully understand, because that's what it requires to be part of this group. I don't know.
That could be. That could be. When you talk about the hope thing, and I don't know if this helps or anything, and I know I don't normally like to talk about things, personal things, and this isn't really personal to me, but it has to do with my area. There was an old iron mine, and they kind of polluted an area outside, right along adjacent to the mine. So it's just like this barren, flat land now. And a company came in and they leased it. It now belongs to the state. They leased it from the state because they were going to build a solar generator out there. They were going to start collecting solar and build all these solar panels and collect solar energy. Now, they leased the land almost 20 years ago. And they built a website to talk about it. They never really finished the website, and they never did any work at all at the actual site. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources took the lease back from them because they never did any work. And some of our local politicians put pressure on the Michigan DNR to renew the lease, to give them the lease back, because they were going to bring all these jobs to the area. There was this hope that and I don't even know how we don't need people to collect solar energy, so I don't know what jobs were going to be brought to the area anyway. But they actually pressured the DNR to give the lease back to this company. This was 3 years ago, and they still haven't even finished the website, let alone done anything out at the actual physical site. So maybe it is that hope, it's because and I have talked to people in this area who really think that this thing is going to bring all these jobs here. And we do live in it. I'm in a rural area. It's economically depressed. Jobs are a big deal here. So I don't know. Maybe that is it.
Sometimes, like in those those scammers,
sorry, go ahead.
they'll bring like a sense of urgency, or make you feel like you need to financially give or be a part of this because something bad is going to happen if you don't, it could happen at any time if you don't get in on this now. Almost like a salesman type thing.
Right. Like selling the urgency of it. It's like we're so close to a breakthrough, or we can't do this without your support, and we know that we're never going to get like government funding or mainstream support. So it's going to be up to people like you to help put it through.
Yeah. Not only
are you able to come up with. Sorry, but
no, go ahead, Puck, please.
Well, the best answer that I've been able to come up with is that, like, for me, the best thing that I can do for someone who has fallen victim to one of these is that when they do come around, the absolute last thing they need is an "I told you so," because they're probably already getting that from a bunch of other people they know. And the best thing you can do, I think, is just validate their story, understand why it could have been convincing, and then just move on from there.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been taken at one time in our life, pretty much, right?
Let's not make a deal of it.
Yeah, right. Like I said, we've all been taken at some point in our lives. That let's show somebody the compassion that we wished we had gotten when it happened to us, right?
Yeah, and that's why I think the thing that's going to strengthen our communities the most is things like telling stories and sharing the stories and validating the experiences that we had, where, like there's the clergy project that's doing it, and other people who do interviews, and they take the stories of people who are detransitioning or who have deconverted, and just validating, yeah, I understand why you were there. And that's not, we don't look down on you for having done that. We don't look down on you for having believed and having this hope. And now that you don't have that, we're not going to badger you for that. You're a different person now. And we're not going to hold that. It's a clean slate.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought.
Yeah, any of us have the capability of being duped. I mean, that's kind of how I view my time in the church is just I was duped, and I was duped by people who were also duped. Um, and obviously there are some people out there that are purposely duping, but a lot of the time it's just something about it makes you feel like you have some sort of identity or belonging or some special information that other people don't have. And it's just really easy to be duped no matter how intelligent you are. These people, especially the ones that like you're talking about, the ones that are doing the scamming, they have that charismatic personality that makes you like they know how to speak to you. They know how to be manipulative in that way.
Yeah.
Right, and you know, I like to think that I'm immune to being sweet talked into something like that, but I deep down I know I'm not, and deep down I know that it's very, very possible for me to get shilled into something, and then you know, $10,000 in donations later, I have nothing to show for it. I'm not immune. The only difference is I haven't done that yet, right? So, but it's possible, and I try to be humble and aware of that.
Yeah, I think it's possible for any of us that, like I said, a lot of us have already been duped at one point in our lives, right? I mean, how many? Yeah, I was going to make a joke about getting married and divorced, but I better not.
Hey,
All right. Well, thank you guys
I
for
understand.
entertaining this.
Yeah, I figured you would. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
as
thank you,
someone who,
Puck.
you know, yeah, no problem. And as someone who had to date while atheist in a very conservative area, it's possible. It's out there. It happens, and we're out there. We just have no convenient way of signaling to each other. Like we don't have the atheist version of being able to like sense when somebody is. You know, I have no idea how to find atheists in the wild. I just happened to, and I was very lucky to find a community here where I am in Ohio. So.
Oh, that's good. That makes me feel like I have a little bit of hope.
Yeah, you're both in the same state anyway, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, Ohio's
yeah,
a big
thanks.
place, though. I mean, I have to drive 2 hours just to watch a good ice hockey. So,
Columbus is a big. Columbus
and
is a big
I have
state.
to live in a very
I've been all
progressive
over it.
oasis in a entire yeah. I'm in a progressive oasis in an entire sea of conservatism. You go 10 miles out of town and you already see that you're going to hell billboards.
Yeah.
That's not an exaggeration. They're just billboards say, "Hey, guess what? You're going to hell. Maybe don't read this while you're driving." Okay. Thank you guys very much for entertaining my thoughts tonight.
Well, thank you, Puck. Thanks for calling in. Like I said, I always enjoy talking to you.
It was nice talking to
All right,
you.
have a good night.